In a quiet seaside village, a young girl named Lyra spent her days collecting seashells along the shore. She was not like the other children who built castles in the sand or chased the waves. Lyra was captivated by the intricate patterns etched into the shells. She had gathered hundreds, tiny whorls, delicate curves, spirals that seemed to twist forever. To her, they were treasures of a mystery she could not name. One day, an old wanderer with a weathered face and eyes as sharp as the horizon arrived in the village. He carried nothing but a staff and a bag slung over his shoulder. The villagers, wary of strangers, kept their distance, but Lyra, clutching her basket of shells, approached him with curiosity. "Why do you stare so intently at those shells, child?" the old man asked, his voice like the whisper of the tide. "I want to understand them," Lyra said. "They are so small, yet they seem infinite. Where do the spirals end?" The wanderer crouched beside her and picked up a shell from her basket. He turned it over in his hands, studying its curves. "Do you see the shape?" he asked. "It is not only in the shell. It is in the waves that crest and fall, the wind that coils through the trees, even the way the stars sweep across the sky." Lyra's eyes widened. The stars, but they are so far away. How can they be the same? The old man smiled. "Look closer. What you see in the shell is not just a pattern. It is a truth. The same spiral exists in the galaxies above and in the seeds of flowers below. It is a map of how the world grows, how it moves, how it becomes." Lyra frowned. But why would the same pattern be everywhere? The wanderer stood, motioning for her to follow him. Together they climbed the cliff that overlooked the village from its peak. They could see the vast ocean stretching beyond sight. The old man pointed to the horizon. "Do you see where the sea meets the sky?" "Yes," Lyra said. "And if you walked to that place, what would you find?" Lyra thought for a moment. "I suppose I would find more sea and more sky." The wanderer nodded. "That is the nature of the spiral. It has no beginning and no end, only the journey inward or outward. It is the signature of the hidden, the pattern left behind by something greater than we can see or name." Lyra was silent for a long time, gazing at the waves below. The spiral was everywhere. In the shells, the stars, the horizon itself. She felt both small and infinite, as though she had glimpsed something vast and eternal. Finally she asked, "What should I do with this truth?" The wanderer placed the shell back in her basket. "Carry it with you as you would a flame in the darkness. When others are lost, show them the pattern. Remind them that they are part of something endless, something wondrous. And when you find your own path, let it spiral, twisting and turning, but always leading you toward the light." And with that, the wanderer disappeared down the cliff path, leaving Lyra alone with her shells, the sea, and the stars. Years later, when Lyra had grown old, the villagers would gather around her, seeking her wisdom. She would tell them of the spiral, of how it lived in everything from the smallest shell to the vastest galaxy. Some would listen, some would laugh, and some would find their own spirals in the patterns of their lives. But Lyra did not mind. She had learned that the spiral was not meant to be understood all at once. It was a journey, a truth that grew clearer with every turn. And so the spiral continued, endless as the stars and as close as the curve of a sea.